comes to crafting, there is no shortage of tips and tricks that you can all use to make your life a little bit easier. So today, our amazing DIYers have gathered together to give you their secrets, and I want you all to know I think they're equally as great as one another. So all of this fighting,
you're such a good mom.
Fighting, it's all wonderful. I love my kids equally. All right, so let's start with you, Maria. What is your tip?
So my tip and my favorite thing right now is spray adhesive. I use this on a number of projects that I did over the holidays and even the fall. And so we have some that I can show you. So when I did all of this for the gallery wall, Debbie, remember when I did the lamps? And I also did a backdrop. You can see right there, I put all of the paper onto the little chimney with this, and then of course our little tree. So this goes to show you that this can be used on a number of different materials. So I have glass here.
The other glue,
exactly, and it saves you so much time. So for instance, I want to give you some basics. When you are working with spray adhesive, do as I say, not as I do. You want to be out in a outdoor area, and you want to work in a well-ventilated area, a covered surface. Don't spray it on anything that you like. So we have obviously a covered surface here, and use a mask and gloves. And so that's going to depend on what you're actually spraying. So when you're spraying paper, you want to spray it really far away. Just let it kind of dust onto the paper. Otherwise, it stains the paper.
Oh, right, okay.
For the fabric that I did, you can get some decently close. I mean, 6 to 8 inches away is usually the rule of thumb. And a great tip, so I made this earlier for my mantle. This is a snowball votive. This is on hallmarkchannel.com. I made this, I think it was about a year ago, and I have used it ever since. And so what you do is you actually put the flameless candle in there. And what you do, I have my little guy here. Wear your mask, and then you just want to spray. So, but a good tip, I'm not going to follow this tip at the moment because of obviously time purposes, but a good tip is you want to wait about 30 seconds. You can kind of feel with your glove when it starts to get tacky, and you can add your fake snow on it.
Which you also happen to love, one of your favorite things.
Which I also happen to love, but you can see it's going to start sticking now.
Oh, look at that.
And if you want it to stick even better, you can do another layer of it and seal it all together with the spray adhesive afterwards, and you're good to go.
So then it won't fall off.
Exactly.
That is really cute.
So
Thank you, Maria. Next time you're using a mask, probably bring for all of us.
Yeah.
I'll
remember that.
Anyway.
All right, Ken, what is yours?
So mine is using embossing powder for embossing at home. It's sort of a raised embossing, but it's a really great tip. As you can see here, this little invitation that I did looks super fancy, and you can see that W.
Oh, yeah.
It's sort of glossy, and it's raised. I just printed this on a regular printer, and then I did that raised embossing myself.
Okay.
I did it for our wedding.
It's very expensive if you were to have it done.
Right. I did engraved invitations for our wedding, but then for all the correspondence cards and the escort cards and the menus, I did the embossing myself. Did it at home on my home printer.
Nice.
It is super easy. Let me show you how it is. What you're going to do is get your stamp on whatever you want to do, and you stamp it with regular ink. So
Regular stamp.
Oh, regular.
regular stamp
That's
and
it?
regular ink. There you go. Then you have embossing powder, and you're going to sprinkle the embossing powder on top. Embossing powder comes in a bunch of different colors, and it's actually a type of plastic.
Oh,
and then you're just going to pour that off just like you would
A glitter.
some glitter.
That's why it sits on top.
Exactly. And now the trick is, so now that it has a little power, you're going to get a heat gun.
Okay.
Watch closely, everybody. It's magic. You're going to hit it with the heat gun.
And it like melts it.
It melts it all, and it goes from being that
glossy
to that glossy gold.
That
and
is so
raised
cool. And then
sort
it
of solid.
stays glossy?
And it stays glossy, and it
can't.
stays raised.
And
And you
it
can use
hardens.
any color ink. You can use clear ink or what have you. It doesn't matter because it's all covered by the powder.
That is super
Right.
cool.
So, well, if I don't have a heat gun, could I mean, for sake of sounding silly, can I use my blow dryer?
Depends on how forceful your blow dryer is.
Oh,
Like if you have
like
like
a low
hot
setting?
Well, no, a high setting. You need the high setting.
As hot as possible.
As hot as possible.
but
'cause-
not the airflow, like low airflow, high heat,
Yes,
right?
right, exactly.
Oh, right, 'cause
exactly.
you don't want the powder to go everywhere.
But it's
Smart.
great. You can do like I did these envelopes. You can do
beautiful.
and anything, and it costs like nothing.
Well, which is really nice.
Don't tell the guests at my wedding. Thank God I spent a lot of money.
It's really, listen, we're all married here. We know how much that costs.
Right.
And you go, what? I'm paying you what to do what to my envelope?
Right,
You're like, can I text my That seems like
Change of plans.
pricey. All right, Orly, what is your tip? I know you love glitter.
I love glitter.
Almost as much as
It just, yeah, it just adds, I think there's a lot of projects where it can either completely transform something,
Right.
change it entirely, or it just adds a little pop to things. So it's fun, but glitter gets everywhere and it gets dusty and you end up with it
Yeah.
forever. So
She had one on her nose when we were at the table.
yeah,
It's all in your
I
hair.
still have- Because I did 2 techniques, and I did the one version, which we normally do, and that got the glitter everywhere. So this is a technique I want to show you. Here I put a little bit of Mod Podge into a little tin, and I'm going to add in my glitter directly into the Mod Podge. And you want to add a liberal amount, because what you want is to make sure you're getting a really saturated
Oh, that's pretty.
like Mod Podge. So you're gonna keep mixing it in until basically all of the glitter gets mixed in to the glue, and it becomes like this
It is
heavy
really pretty.
paste. So now, once you've mixed it in, I will show you. I'm gonna sort of take some off, and I'm gonna use a new brush for this. And you can see I've done it on this bag already. You can see the really cool details there, the way that it sparkles, and I've just kind of highlighted every other. So now it's like I've made my own glitter paint. So I go in here and I just simply add on anywhere that I want to add a little pop. I could have picked any color, right? I could have done the pineapples instead of the leaves, whatever you want. But basically, it will start off kind of cloudy, and you can see how quickly it already starts to go clear. The other option, though, the one thing I do want to say is that if you want something super, super concentrated, like you can see these heels that I did, they were regular solid white heel, and they've got the real high, I mean,
Right,
it's
yeah.
completely solid, right? If you want that, what I would really recommend doing is starting off with this just as a base. You'll see how it's not nearly as saturated, right? You can already see. So use this as your Mod Podge base, and then you're still gonna wanna sprinkle like we normally would
Thicker.
on top. So if you have a project that requires that heavy, heavy, full glitter, I would still do the other version of it. But if it's just a simple pop, you save yourself all the glitter everywhere.
These
that
are
whole
all
moment.
amazing tips, and I'm telling you, all of these things would go for hundreds
This
of dollars.
is for you.
Right.
Thank
But mine,
you.
but mine was your favorite.
Please, come to dinner.
Come to dinner,
You know
yes.
what? Yeah,
and I'm-
one shoe.
Just
Can I give you one shoe?
Just one shoe. Hello, hello. Thank you, guys. Really great tips from all of you. You guys go to hallmarkchannel.com for more information.